Hey guys, it's Frank with Ownify. I wanted to take a minute to explain the concept of bricks. We talk a lot about owning your home brick by brick, buying it over time, brick by brick. You're renting the fraction that you haven't bought, and the more bricks you own, the more bricks you stack, the fewer you have to rent. That's the whole basis of the concept of fractional ownership. So, how does that really work? Let's dive in. So, in the US today, we can't fractionalize a title. What we can do, though, is we can put a home into a limited liability company, an LLC, and we can use that to fractionalize the ownership or share the ownership of the home. So what Ownify does is the title to each home is held by a limited liability company, and every home is its own LLC. So when you engage with Ownify to buy a home, we will create an LLC and you become a member within that LLC. And your membership interest or your share in that LLC is the way in which you legally own a share of your home. So legally, a brick is really a membership interest or a share in that LLC that holds title to the home. Now, each LLC issues 10,000 shares or bricks, and therefore one brick equals 0.01% of the value of the home, or the value of the home divided by 10,000. Now, you may ask, and a lot of you do, how do you establish the value of the home? If we purchase a home, let's say for $350,000, including all the closing costs and make-ready costs, then on that day, in that month, the value of a brick is $35. Now, over time, as home prices go up or go down, the value of that brick changes, right? The home price goes from $350,000 to $352,000. The value of a brick goes from $35 to $35.20. So how do we establish the value? Well, it's not us doing that. We use 3 independent valuation providers. These are all big companies that are being used by mortgage lenders and banks and investors around the country. Clear Capital, Cocoon, and House Canary. We take those 3 independent valuations, we get them once a month, and we create the average, and that really establishes the value of your home. So let's look at an example. Here's a home that a couple of our ownies have bought in December of 2022. It's called the Baldwin. It's a really cute home in Raleigh, 3-bedroom, 3-bath. And we bought it for $355,000 in conjunction with our ownies on December 1st, 2022. So on that day, when we closed, the value of a brick, again, was $355 divided by 10,000. So we started out with a brick value of $35.50. And then over the next 2 years, until November 2024, which was the last valuation, the brick price kind of changed. Every month, again, through this process of pulling 3 different valuations, we established the price. So it started at $35.50. Then it went down for a couple of months. You see $34.99, $33.82, $34.20, and so on and so forth. It then came back up to $37, kind of stayed there for a long time, right? And hovered around a little bit, maybe up and down a couple of cents. And the most recent one, again, kind of went up to the 38 here a little bit. Now we're at 37.02 in the most recent valuation. So that's kind of a visualization of how to think about the value of a brick, which is really the value of the home, tracked over time. And now what the ownies did in the Baldwin, every month they made their monthly payment and they bought bricks. Now, how does that work? So the Baldwin, the monthly payment for the ownies living in this home is $2,932. So that's their fixed monthly payment that they're making for 5 years. And within that payment, as I mentioned earlier, some portion goes for rent, that covers the rent on the fraction of the home that they haven't bought, and another portion goes towards equity. And that fraction varies over time. But over the last 2 years, the ownies built an average of $498 in equity per month. So they started with $7,100, which was their 2% down payment, right? Again, $355, 2% of that is $7,100. That's what they put down. And then every month they bought more equity and they made a fixed monthly payment, right? And within that, a portion went to equity and bought bricks at these prices that we just looked at, right? So again, every month they bought shares in the LLC or bricks at this valuation. And what that allowed them to do is build equity, again, starting at 7,100 on day one back in December 2022 to about $18,551 in November of 2024. And, you see a couple of squiggles in the line here. In some months it went down, in some months it went up a little faster. And that's the cumulative effect of buying equity and the value of that equity, the value of the bricks changing over time. So I hope that made sense. I encourage you, if you have questions about Ownify, to schedule a concierge call and we can dig into this with one of our team members in more detail. Thank you.